do. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Haven't done the whiteboard in a while. Just want y'all to come on in. Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Yeah. Hey, I want to talk about something here. I want to talk about black finance. All right. This is kind of important to me because of, well, I think some of us have been derelict to duty. Our leaders have been derelict to duty. I don't care who it is. Your pastors, the community leaders, your parents have been derelict to duty. And there is a generation above us, maybe those of you who are baby boomers, okay? Some of you did not pass this stuff down to your children. Maybe because you didn't know how it works, okay? And some of you did some things and you allowed your children to stay up under your nest egg. They lived in a upper class, a middle class situation, maybe upper middle class situation, and they lived in posh or plush buildings and homes and what have you. And you didn't really sit down with them at the table. It's like you used to sit down at the table for dinner and breakfast and lunch and what have you. You didn't sit at the table and say, here's my checkbook. Here's my balance sheet. Here's my profit and loss statement and things like that, okay? Here's how much money came in for the year. Here's how much money goes out. This is what this costs, okay? This is the expense on here, okay? And over amount of time, this is what this is going to cost. This building cost me this. This house cost me this. The APR, the percentage rate on this house is this. And this is how much I have left on it after maybe 20 more years it'll be ours, okay? This is how much equity is left in the house. You didn't teach them none of that stuff. You just paid the bills. Let them go to grammar school, high school, and college, and then they're done. And then they got out there on the streets on their own, and they began to struggle and say, well, what is this stuff going on? Stuff that their teachers were teaching them in college, even in high school. They're like, this is strange to us. All right. And these are some of the things that our parents, again, they lived that life from the time that the greatest generation from the World War II came home and they began to buy these homes. OK, remember Black Wall Street. And there are many places across America where you have black neighborhoods. I just took my children to Atlanta, Georgia, up and down Auburn Avenue, where there were middle class, upper class African Americans who owned those homes. The whites, they left. The white flight and the black people came in the area and began to buy up those homes. Right? We were not taught certain things. So no more excuses. I'm tired of it, and I figure I'm going to take the ring. Yesterday or day before yesterday, I did a righteous, indignant post on tithing. What did I call it? Tithing, the Great Divide. It may have upset some of you people. I'm glad it did, but I hope it upset you to the point where you sat down with your finances and got yourself together and then brought your children in the room. I do that all the time. Every time my babies are home, I go right to the computer. We go and check our scores, okay? We go and find out what do they owe. Okay, you got student loans getting ready to hit right after you graduate and get your job. They're giving you about 6 months, okay, the deferred. And you might as well start paying now so that you can see your FICO score raise. I put my children on my cards with the hope that I keep paying it on time. I do what's called piggyback. I mean, it's so many things. I'll talk about that in a minute. The whole piggyback thing. But these are some of the things, again, that were not taught to us. And I think it's important that we understand. I'm calling it black finance. It's really finance in general. All right, but I'm calling it that because I'm talking to my black audience. If you want more information, you go to type in GWAA. That's Generational Wealth for African Americans on Facebook. GWAA. You just type that in and the whole name comes up. Generational Wealth for African Americans. Go ahead, hit the join button, and I will let you in, and you'll see all of the posts from my African American friends and business associates. And we talk about finances every single day and things. People who's got businesses out there, African American businesses out there. I don't care what the business is. People post their business and their ideas, and we talk about money. Okay, and I'm not going to be one of those people who just talk about it and not doing it. I'm doing a lot of the stuff that y'all going to see me put on this wall here. All right, the simple aspects of finance. It's really simple, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what finance is all about. When I was young, when I was coming up, when I graduated out of high school, I wanted to go into business school, and I still got my business school book. This is called Business Mathematics. I love this class. It was my favorite class. Now, I'm not great at math today, but business, yeah. 1987, this book was copywritten. It was brand new when they gave us the book here. Okay, you can see it. I mean, I still every now and then refer back to it. It's a great book. Then after I graduated from there, I began to study other little things. This is a foreign exchange market. You know, I began to read this, and these are the stuff that they were just hanging around high school, and the kids were like, "I don't want that book. You can have it." I said, "Let me have it." Money and Banking. A market-oriented approach to money and banking. This book here helped me understand how the banking system works. All right, but what we do is we get our checks and we just toss it. We deposit it in our accounts, and we never ask any questions. We don't know what the bank is doing with the money. And when I was coming up, I often wondered, what do the banks do with my money once I make a deposit from my check? How do the banks make money if once I put $100 in there, that $100 is still there? But many of you didn't know that once the money is put in there, $100 is put in your deposit. When you go back, it's going to still be there, right? No, it's not there actually. You may see it, but the bank loaned out portions of that money. They may have loaned out $90 of that money, okay? And who they loaning it out to? They're loaning it out to people who are borrowing money. They want money for car loans. They want money for mortgages. They want loans for businesses. And where did the bank get that money from? They get it from you. And what they do is they borrow that money from you and they put it in digits in the computer as you got $100, but you really don't, all right? And what they do is they write an IOU to you. And they loan it out to Bobo. And then what happens to Bobo? Bobo deposits the $90 that the bank gave him in his bank. And then guess what? Out of the $90 that Bobo deposited, the bank may take $50 out of that. And guess what? The bank lends it to Pookie. Come on, man. It's a vicious cycle. And that's how the economy works. That's how you stimulate the economy. And that's how they print money. The banks is responsible for a lot of these financial things, like woes that we've gone through 2008, 2009, when Obama came into the scene. All right. So money is passed down. So that $100 you deposited turns into 90 plus 90 plus 50, on and on and on. And but IOUs are sitting in your accounts. You didn't know that stuff because it wasn't important to you. Okay? And then that $100 right there, you put it into a savings account. You think that you're getting a great rate on your return because it's in the savings account, and the bank says we're going to give you 0.1% on that money over time. That's a horrible rate, all right? We didn't know. We just figured, man, over 50 years, man, I may have $105. You know what I'm saying? And these are some of the things we were not taught a lot of that stuff. Well, you can't be 50 years old and say the man didn't teach me that. My father, my mama didn't teach me that. It makes no sense. Get up off your lazy do nothing and figure out what's going on with your own money. Okay? So I just want to give you some ideas. Matter of fact, there are really two things that we need to be thinking about as African Americans about our lives and our children's children. The scriptures that y'all keep pushing into people's faces, and you just talk about my children's children, but then for 50 years, 30 years, 20 years, you've been giving a tithe and an offering to a church, thinking that on the promise that money's going to come back, but you have turned into a lazy saint because for 20 years you've been giving thousands of dollars based off of a promise. And that promise may get you back your rate of return. They call it a ROI, okay? You've given $10,000, okay, to a ministry, and you may have called it a tithe, all right? Well, I'll tell you something. That's fine. If tithing is your way of helping the church pay its bills, then keep paying the tithe, all right? Because that's how they keep the electricity on. That's how they pay the salaries. The drums might break and they need to buy some more. So the tithe, coupled with the offering, okay, goes to the expenses of that church. How your church do it, I don't know. I really don't care how your church do it. But apparently, if your church been up in existence for some years, they've been doing okay. Hopefully, there's no misappropriation of funds, all right? But you gave out of your pocket $10,000 over some years of being a member of that church. What was the rate of your return on that $10,000 from giving that? Okay, now listen. There are many people who give that money and they're not looking for money back. They just want to be a blessing to that church, and they just want to go to a place where there's air conditioning and there's heat in the wintertime. They want the musician and the pastor to be paid, okay, so that they can continue to feed them the word of God and give them good music, okay? Boom, that's what they do. That's why I give. I do that, and then I go home. But my rate of return is not based off of this or promises. My rate of return is based off of the personal things I do with my money Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. You see, I live a Monday through Saturday life. Many of the saints today live a Sunday life. Your investment is based off of Sunday promises. Okay, I'm dropping everything. Your investment is based off of Sunday promises from people, from pastors, from elders and apostles and evangelists and leaders who won't even or don't even use the stuff that I'm going to be talking about with black finances. No, your investment is based off of a promise, because you give, you expect to receive. But many of you have given $10,000, and after several years, you testify that you got a $300 check in the mail, unexpected, suspiciously. You don't know where it came from. God blessed you. You pressed down, shaken together, running over. You have no room to receive. But you gave $10,000. And over several years, that was your rate of return based off of the promise of this system here. Something's wrong with you, and you are not good stewards of your money. So at home, though, Monday through Saturday, your children suffering. You're hiding your car because you don't want the repo man to catch you, okay? You're making promises to the utility company, says, I'll pay you maybe next month, maybe next month, next month. But faithfully, you do this. That house is taken care of, but your house ain't taken care of, all right? You live in paycheck to paycheck. Where is the problem in that? Well, God says, how could you take care of this house? You leaders out there, you men especially, how could you take care of this house and rule well in this house, and you didn't take care of this house, okay? He called you an infidel. You are worth more, you are unstable as water. You can't take care of this house. Your children don't respect you. They don't hold you in high gravity. Your wife don't respect you, okay? You having problems on your job. You don't have enough to save money. You're supposed to have at least 6 months, okay, saved just in case of a catastrophe. And the average African American don't even have 30 days saved. All right, okay, but whenever the pastor's anniversary, church anniversary, choir anniversary, usher anniversary, whatever you're doing, you got your money. You raise your money is always on time. But this right here is suffering, and these single women, mothers are suffering, and I'm tired of it. And I really don't care how many friends I lose on this. I don't care how many of you leaders tell me I can't come in there and preach at your church. Please, I've got thousands of people around the world who listen to me every day. I don't need your pulpit. All right, I build my own, but you best believe this, I'm building a generational wealth, one child at a time, while you try to tell them to do this based off of a promise, okay? Don't do it. If you go to your church, like I do faithfully, I have checkbooks here that my church name is in it. So don't think I'm not the giver. I give more than many people out there. I give to the ministry, but most times I go out into the world and I give. All right. So what happens? My rate of return is based off of my charitable giving That's not always finance. That means feeding the hungry, visiting the sick, going to the hospitals, into the orphans, in the shelters, sending money to some of your kids' college, okay, and what have you. That's my rate of return. So God says when you do that, you're lending. Who are you lending to? You're lending to God, all right, through this way. Taking care of this side of your life. This side of your life, you build a house. It was too expensive. You really couldn't afford it. You built them multi-million-dollar church houses, okay? And now you're trying to overtax the people of God to take care of it, and their homes are suffering. And y'all keep talking about some money coming to me now and prosperity, and you're living off of faith this and faith that and speak this into existence. You keep doing that, but you keep suffering over here. Okay, you suffer. So some of y'all say, well, I got a nice home. I got a nice car. You sure do. But can you take off work for a couple of weeks? No, you cannot. You have to work extra hard. And your car probably costs you between $500 and $600 a month just to keep that nice car. And your mortgage is over $2,000, okay, for that $200,000, $300,000 house, all right? So you really up under financially, and you're struggling to keep that going. So some of you got 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and you Ubering and you doing the Lyft, all right, just to keep this stuff here. Meanwhile, all right, I went there, and again, I really don't care. I have an I don't care attitude, all right? So it's so important that you understand that your finances are supposed to be used, especially if you have children, it's supposed to be used to enhance your generation. When a generation becomes wealthy, they stay wealthy. At least they're supposed to. A generation that's poor, you notice that it's a spirit behind that, and many of the poor generations stay poor. It's project mentality. Those people who are in our projects here in Chicago, Cabrini Green, Robert Taylor Homes, okay, Stateway Apartments, Henry Horn, and all those places when they were up, many of those are 2, 3, 4 generations that were in those apartments, those projects. And they had project mentality, because once they tore them down, they went and moved into other places, and those places began to fall down. Why? Because they didn't understand the value of it. They had poor mentality, and they were paying $50 a month in rent. And outside, I saw some Lexuses and Toyota Camrys and stuff like that outside in the parking lot at the projects. But their rent was $50, okay? So they were buying cars, and this is why the mortgage companies were telling me that we don't really like giving black folks mortgages, because they'll buy a very expensive car and not think about the house that they need to live in. So we're very reluctant to give them mortgages, and if we do, we're going to charge them erroneous APRs, okay? And these are some of the things you need to investigate. You need to know about this stuff. It's so vital. Hey, Karen Atkins, good to see you. So it's very important. There is investments, okay? There are investments, and then there are insurance, okay? Investments and insurance. These two here make the world go round. These two here will determine what's going to happen to you when you retire. Are you going to be okay? If you die, do you have to do a GoFundMe, a Kickstarter, an Indiegogo, okay? Raise a second, third offering somewhere because you died and your children cannot afford to bury you, all right? That doesn't make any sense. So you should have some type of insurance to take care of that. Then there are investments as well. Many times people separate that. You got a man by the name of Dave Ramsey. Anybody heard of him? Dave Ramsey, is that how you spell it? I don't know. I might have spelled it wrong. Okay. And also, what's her name? Susie Orman. Okay. Dave Ramsey, Susan Orman. The both of them talk alike. I think one is the teacher. I think Dave is Susie's teacher. I don't know. I don't always agree with them. I think they give some good financial advice. All right. But I don't always agree with some of the things that they say. For instance, Dave Ramsey, he hates credit cards. OK, He has destroyed them all. He really talks down about credit cards because he believed that has got people into financial ruins, and he's right. In many cases, it has. But some people don't have good credit. Some people have no credit, and the best way for them to build that credit, and some people, the only way to build it is through credit cards. But Dave Ramsey's FICO score is 0. I don't know if any of you follow him, but Dave Ramsey, a very wealthy man, his FICO score is 0. He says it's best to have a 0 score than to have any score. He says either have a 0 score or have an 800 score. If you don't have any of those, he says it's best that you don't have any. All right. Now that's his teaching. It's controversial, and you can do your own study on that. Susie Orman kind of acts the same way. But what I want to say here, though, is in many cases they don't like for you to take investments and insurance and put them together. All right. They don't like that. They like to have it separated. All right. So your insurance, those of you who don't have any, first of all, shame on you. The insurance would be, you got term life, okay, and you got, well, sometimes we call it permanent, okay, whole, universal, okay, and the list goes on and on. The list goes, and actually, this right here should be over here. Well, you got mutual funds, you got annuities, okay, and I would put whole here, and I would put universal here, okay. Investments, mutual funds. What is that? Okay, it's like you guys 401k. Okay, there's a fight over 401ks. Again, Dave Ramsey and I think Susie Orman also hate 401ks. The whole system and how it was set up. It was set up for your benefit. It was set up that you put some in and the company put some in as well, and it's all up into the market. I'll do a show for 401k. Some people love it. Some people hate it because they get wiped out. But this stuff here is in the market. Okay, it's in the market, and many black folk don't like the market. They hate the market. They're scared of the market. The market is taboo to them, and they feel that they are gambling when it comes to the market. And I think first of all, it's false to believe that it's a gamble, and number two, the reason why black people don't do it because they're afraid that they'll lose everything and they won't rebound. But the market always rebounds. Always. I don't care how many crashes. I don't care if it's Black Tuesday, Black Monday, Black Wednesday, or Black Friday. It ain't going to stay down always. It always rebound, and they say never take your money out. You may lose some, but you're going to gain it back and possibly more if you just be patient with it. But the problem with my black brothers and sisters is that we have no patience when it comes to money. We get our money and then we spend it on something that we don't even need. All right? So investments, on one end, you can just have this by itself. Get into mutual funds. It's all about stocks. As a matter of fact, a mutual fund is at its core a managed portfolio. That's what it is, okay, of stocks and or bonds. And it doesn't work the regular way that stocks work, okay? You could think of mutual funds as a company that brings together a large group of people and invest their money on the behalf of that portfolio. But these people are not voters per se, okay? Because the mutual fund is put into variations of stocks, okay? And so when you do the mutual, and some people hate annuities. Some people think it's expensive to do that, all right? Again, I'll have to do a separate show on these three in itself. We know that term could be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And there's pros and cons to all of this, and permanent or whole life, okay? There's pros and cons to that, as well as universal. Pros and cons to that because universal is really digs into the market, okay? And all this stuff I wasn't shown when I was young. I wasn't shown when I was grown, okay? I had to find this stuff out for myself. And the average African American, they run from this. Then they may have some insurance, they may have just term, but they say, I can't afford whole. Dave Ramsey and Susie, they hate whole life. They think it's a waste of money, a waste of time, and that you're putting this amount of money into something for all those years to come retirement. It doesn't make financial sense. I see what they're saying, but many of those who are into the insurance industry say not so. All right. Well, again, we'll have to do a separate show on that. But every case, you get 5 people and you tell them and you sit down with their situation, there's 5 different things that these people may need. They have 5 different situations. You can't just push term on everybody. You can't push whole on everybody. You can't push mutual on everybody. Their situation is different. Okay? If I go into the doctor and says, it hurts when I do this, well, he either make a joke and say, don't do that, or he's got to find out why does it hurt when I do that. It could be a whole lot of problems, okay, wrong with me, or it could be one problem, but he's got to find out. And that problem that I have, because when I do that, it hurts, this guy walking in says, when I do that, it hurts, his might be something else. He may have diabetes and it may have gotten into his joints and caused arthritis. I may have something else. Okay, so it's the same thing here. You can't sit families down and give them and offer them all the same thing. You just can't. All right. I hope this is making some sense to some of you. All right. So what has happened though, investments and insurance have come together and they come together to help you, build a nest egg for yourself. You got companies like AIG, Forrester, Mutual of Omaha, Alliance, Fidelity and Guaranteed Life, Legal Shield, Minnesota Life, National Life Groups, and all these things, okay? You even got IRAs, okay? Preferably Roth, okay? Y'all heard of these names. Y'all heard of them. And long-term care and things like that. We've heard of them, but we ignore them because we see them on our TVs, all right? Well, in certain stations like BET, you're not going to see this kind of stuff on BET, okay? You're not going to see this stuff. You're going to see McDonald's commercials, Burger King, Whitney's, okay? You're going to see commercials for some reality TV show. You're going to see stuff that don't build up African Americans whatsoever, all right? But what you're going to see, what stations you're going to see a lot of this financial stuff on? Fox News, Fox, the Golf Channel, CNBC, whatever that station is where the business reports are. You're going to see this stuff on those stations. Why? Because they know that the people who are watching that are people who are financially aware, okay? And they got some money in the market. You best believe that. That's why they push things like this on those stations. Not BET, okay? Not Bounce and not a lot of the stations that we watch. Oh, absolutely not, because they know we're not into that stuff. And we got to be careful. We really got to be careful, okay? Term, get you some term insurance. It's low cost. It's simple. You can get 10, 20, 30 years, and you're good to go. That's good for somebody who can't afford insurance. Term is good. Now, the cons on that is, well, you better watch it because once the contract ends, it's expensive to renew that sucker. You just got to know. You got to be informed. And a lot of people who got term, they think I'm good to go for the rest of my life, but somebody didn't explain it to you. Very difficult to reinstate it, though, once the policy has lapsed, okay? And there's no equity in term, right? But there's equity in whole. There's a tax advantage in whole, flexible premiums and all these things, all right? But the premiums are higher. Well, of course it's higher. You putting double in there, okay? And of course, the other con is it's just there's a long-term commitment dealing with the whole life, all right? And these things, again, wasn't taught to you, and you need to find out why. Find out why, okay? I hope that right there helped you out, okay? All right. Then there's the credit situation. Talk about the credit situation because the credit situation is something that most of us lean on, okay? We lean on what's called a FICO score, all right? We talked about this before. FICO, the Fair Isaac Corporation, okay? And 90% of lenders use FICO. And then you have what's called the Vantage score. Okay, I don't know. I think they at 3.0. I think this year they might be up to 4.0. And there's some new things going down with Vantage score because if you got tax liens, you'll start seeing those suckers, judgments, tax liens, and things like that. You're going to see them being wiped off of your reports on the Vantage scores and on FICO as well. You're going to start seeing them being removed. All right. You got TransUnion, you got Equifax, and you got Experian. Okay, and those three there, you can pull those suckers for free through. We talked about this Credit Karma. Okay, Credit Karma. Credit Sesame, and a whole bunch of these things, or you can go directly to these sites, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, and pull up your reports there as well if you want to know what your report is. But Credit Karma are going to only give you these two, all right? But these two are based off of what's called a Vantage score. Vantage score, okay? That Vantage score, in many cases, can be very high. You can have a Vantage score on Credit Karma you can be a 690, that might be your FICO score, and you get excited, says, man, I'm going to walk out of here and get me a car, get me a mortgage, and man, that's a great score because I went from 480 to 690, and then you get to the car place, you get to the mortgage place, and they run your credit, and it says you actually got 600. You're like, but I checked my score. Why? Because it's a Vantage score, and 90% of the creditors use FICO. Now you can get you a nice credit card, maybe sometimes American Express will pull Vantage. You could get Capital One cards and many of these cards, maybe Chase, okay, a Bank of America, they may pull your Vantage score, which is the 690. But many of the bigger cards with the higher balances, they pull the FICO. Okay? So don't get caught up in all of that. And again, you got to know this stuff. If you don't know this stuff, learn it and then teach it to your children. Please, people, teach this to your children. It's gonna help them, and it's gonna help their children. All right? I hope this is getting somewhere to you. And then we got what's called piggybacking, okay? Piggyback and trade lines. Piggybacking and trade lines is something that my Caucasian brothers and sisters that they do. Piggybacking simply mean if they got a credit card and that credit card's got like a $5,000 limit on it, okay? What do? They put Junior on that card. They don't give Junior the card. They just put his name on the card. And guess what? Junior getting older, his credit's being built off of Mama's piggybacking. That $5,000 card is on Junior's report as if Junior owns the card. Okay? That's what piggybacking is. Trade lines works really the same way, but these are people who you don't know them, and there are people who are charging in excess of between $500 to sometimes $3,000, okay, for them to put trade lines on your account. So if you got a 600 FICO score, these trade lines are seasonal cards. It's people who've had accounts for 20 years or so, all right, and they put these trade lines on your score, on your one of these, on all three of these reports, and you'll see that 600 go all the way up to 750 and above because of depending on the trade line that you purchase. Some people look at that as unethical. Some people look at it as a quick boost to get their score up so they can go out there and buy a house, and then they remove these trade lines, okay? And they already got the house or the car, and now once they start paying their stuff on time, they will begin their score will begin to rise on their own. That's really up to you how you want to do it, and you just take it up on your own. But that's how these people raise their FICO scores. Okay, all right. It's so much. There's a whole lot here. that my African American brothers and sisters have not been told, and it's not nobody's fault but yours. You're grown folks, okay? And it's now important that you go back and check this is you. You're working hard for the banks. You're working hard for the boss on your 9 to 5, and they're making a killing off of you. They're making a killing off of your efforts. And it's almost like you don't care. I don't care. That's why I got so upset yesterday when I was doing that tithing show, when the people kept telling me I pay my tithe and I don't care where it goes. I don't care what they do in the back office with it. You still crazy to me. You're ridiculous. Nobody I know who's wealthy, nobody I know who's a middle class out there in the world just give their money away and they don't ask questions. But the church. You're the only one to do that. And guess what? You stay in poverty because you don't care where it goes. You just don't care. The man told you, God's going to promise. God made a promise to give you this. And you say, okay, I'm just going to go off of what you said on that promise. And never once investigate where he get it from. Ask him, where's the scripture? Tell him, don't give me that same Malachi. Take me back in the beginning of the book and tell me where it started. He can't tell you where it started. He can't tell you. Tell him to show you Deuteronomy. Tell him to show you Nehemiah. Tell him to go back to Genesis. He can't tell you where that is. Why? Because where he got it from, they can't tell you. And where they got it from, they can't tell you. It's generation after generation of keeping you poor and in poverty. Not me. As for me and my house, oh no. We learned this system. We learned it. You need to learn the system too. And stop worrying about what the world is doing, why they this, and we ain't. It's your fault. Only your fault. Blame yourself, all right? That's Black Finances 101. There's a whole lot more there, but I can't because I know it's bedtime. It's like 11 o'clock, and some of y'all may need to get into bed and, go to that job, all right? And some of y'all call it slave land. In many cases, it is. I haven't worked a 9 to 5 since 1997. I walked off that job, and I said, God, I'll never return again. I'll never punch another clock. I refuse. You gave me 2 hands. You gave me the ability to do stuff with these hands, and I'm going to use them, all right? And I'm going to make money with it, too. And since 1997, I've never had to punch in a clock, all right? And I've been working hard trying to put 2 kids through college, and I bought stuff on my own. And you best believe what happened to me, though, wasn't always great because I didn't know this system when I walked off the job. Nobody told me this stuff, what I'm telling you. And my graph went like this, year after year. That's the way it was for me, okay? Money was down, money was up, then money was down, money was up, money was down. I'm like, oh, man, how am I going to make it? I don't make it. Then back up and down. It was crazy. I look at my life through the 90s and through the 2000s. Man, it was rough. But I made it, and I'm still here. Got in some trouble, and some of these go way down. And then it comes up. That was my rough time right there. Now you got to be careful when you're drawing these graphs, because sometimes you draw these graphs, the weatherman be drawing these graphs, and they be making pictures of body parts. So let me erase this. Yeah, I don't want to be on YouTube where they see body parts and everything. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. All right, let me go. What he said. So Walter, thank you for encouraging people who don't have life insurance to get it right away. When I applied for life insurance for my daughter, God rest her. They would not allow me to obtain whole life for her because she had already been in and out of the hospital. They would only allow term and only for a limited number of years. Yep. But at least when she passed away, I was able to bury her decently and have funds left over to benefit her baby. Trust me, when your child or loved ones transition, you don't want to struggle thinking about final arrangements or expenses. This is good. Thank you, Joyce Graham. Absolutely vital. Did y'all hear what she says? Life insurance is so vital because, again, I'm tired of y'all raising offerings, extra offerings, because I'm at the funeral, and when they say we need to raise an offering, you know what that means, right? Y'all know what that means. They can't afford to bury mama. Mama got 5, 6, 7 kids in the audience, all capable people in the audience, and they're raising an offering because those kids can't afford to bury mama. And not one of them during the life of mama asked, do you have any insurance? And if mama said no, those kids were supposed to open up a policy for mama. You can open up a policy for anybody. the insurance company is in business to make money. They don't care who you open it for. You are the owner of the policy. I can open up in a policy with Joyce's agreement. I can open up in a policy for her. I can pay for it. I own the policy. Okay? You see what I'm saying? So it makes no sense when I walk in those places and all these kids sitting there, they all grown, they got their own places, and mama don't have insurance. So we got to pay. That's embarrassing. Okay? Even those of you who got cars, all right? You bought your brand new car, well, you best to get you some gap insurance, because there's too many horrible things that happen where a person goes upside down, what they call it. A person buys a car, they see the sticker price. The sticker price might be $15,000, okay? But after finance charges and things like that, you know, the price may be $25,000, okay? After you get through, because they're going to put you into a 20% APR because of your credit. All right? I'm screwing up here. This happened to me, so I'm telling y'all what I know. 20%, okay? The APR was 20%, all right? This was the ticket, the sticker. This was the sticker. So you got excited, the sticker, but once they crunch the numbers, and a lot of y'all do zero down, when you get through, you done paid $25,000 or more for this car. You have an accident, totals that the insurance company, let's say Allstate, if you can get it, if they really even allow you, because if you're paying 20% APR, what have you, your credit score might have been low. Allstate might say we can't take no risk on you. Okay, you can't just pick any insurance company you want to. Just got a couple of additional policies because it's indescribable to have a yes, GoFundMe page, Shabaria, come on, Angie, that's right. All right. So you buy this car, you got insurance, all right. You bought the car from let's say CarMax, okay. Now, I'm gonna give you a secret here. If you're gonna buy a gap insurance, don't buy it from CarMax. Buy it from Allstate. Buy it from Lincoln Insurance. Buy it from Get Legal with Eagle. Okay. Buy it from Nationwide. Is on our side. Okay. Buy it from State Farm. If you're going to buy gap insurance, buy it from them, because it is much cheaper to buy from your insurance company than to try and buy the gap from the car loan place, because they're going to jack that sucker up. They in the business not to help you. They're in business to make money. And they're going to jack that up. They're going to put it into your payment, and it's going to be high. I'm trying to tell you, you can get it here for a premium. All right. For those of you, so if you have it, what happens, y'all know how it works. You wrecked the car or you lost the car, and the ticket is $15,000. Okay. And you drove it for a year or two. The insurance company ain't gonna pay you $15,000. They're not gonna pay you $25,000. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to the blue book. Okay. And in the blue book, you bought you a 2012 car, whatever the model is. That $15,000 might be $9,000. Okay. You see what's happening here? So the insurance company pays CarMax, or not maybe CarMax. The insurance company may pay Citicorp. You see all these people that's involved in your life? Okay? All these people are involved in your life. You go down there, you want a car. The car is at CarMax, okay? CarMax run your credit report. They say, okay, you're kind of low. You're what's called subprime, okay? Because your score is low. You're subprime. So CarMax got to find who out there will take a risk on you and your subprime. And every time they run run it by somebody, it hits your FICO. And then every time they do it, it's called an inquiry. Okay, let's call it that because it's hard for me to, I don't know how to spell inquiry. Inquiry or something like that, okay? Okay, all right. CarMax got 5, 6 companies that they run it by to see who's going to take it. Bing, inquiry. Bing, inquiry. Bing, inquiry. All that's hitting your FICO score, and then finally, boom, they get something. And that inquiry could lower your FICO score 7, sometimes I've seen 18 points. So you walked in there with a 500 FICO score, that's 500 minus 18 now. Oh, man, I'm giving y'all too much. Is this overload? Thank you, inquiry. That's with a Y. Yeah. You know, Chicago Public Schools, you know, I don't know, man. Okay? So somebody, let's say Citicorp says, we'll take a risk on this subprime person. Fine. So you walk in there, get a car from CarMax. Citicorp pays CarMax for the car. Okay? All right? So, and then you got to prove you got insurance. So there's Allstate. You get you some gap insurance from Allstate. Now you're paying 20% on a $15,000 car at the end of, and then you do 72 months, okay? So you're paying 5, 6, sometimes 7 years on the car. After 4 years, the car is upside down because the car appreciates every year. Matter of fact, when you drove off the lot, it depreciated. That is, it depreciated 10, 20%, all right? After 4 years, you still got a couple of years left. Now you upside down and you paying a car note. Some of y'all paying between $400 and $500 and up on that car loan. You see all this stuff here, okay? For all those months, the car's wrecked. The insurance company only going to give you not you, but give the owner of the car $9,000. See, CarMax may self-finance or they may go through Citicorp. $9,000 is going to the company. Allstate is through with you. Well, $9,000 from $25,000, who's going to pay the difference? You. Where's it going to come from? Well, you should have got gap insurance. Gap kicks in, so the insurance company write a check for $9,000 over here and then write another check for the difference to them because you got insurance. That gap insurance is just as important as life insurance on your life. Your car should have life insurance. That's gap. All right? Gap plus the regular insurance that you may have for accidents and everything else. All right? Is any of this making sense to any of y'all? Okay? This looked like a puzzle right here. It's just crazy. But that's everything that all of you have to put up with when you bought a car. All right? But what smart people do is they put money away. Okay? Kids, y'all got this, kids? Okay, good. What smart people do, okay, is they are patient. They wait. They do one of two things. One thing they may do is they'll go down into a used car lot. CarMax got a lot of great used cars, and you take your monies. You know you need a car, and you say, I'm going to buy a car in 1 year. What you need to start doing now, putting your monies away. Every time you get a paycheck, put money away. $20, $40, $50, $100. Keep putting it away, keep putting it away. And then you might have raised $7,000, okay, out of your pocket. You've been doing the bus and Pace all this long. You've been doing Uber and Lyft all this long. You might as well keep doing it and putting that money away. You done raised $7,000 in a year coming out of your pocket, all right? You ain't got no car note, so act like you got a car note. And the really smart people do is they'll take, let's say, about $350 a month, and they put it away. Yep, they put it into a separate account. They just put it away because they know in a year's time that money is going to turn into pure gold because they're going to go down into the car lot and say, bam, here's my $7,000. Give me a used car. I don't need a new car right now. I just need something nice and used, okay? And I've seen people raise much more than that, okay? And then you got the car, start doing Uber on the weekend. I've seen people make a few $100s on the weekend, and guess what? If you're going to if you're going to get a car on what's called time, okay, if you're not going to pay it outright, and you're going to buy a car that costs $15,000, Uber, if your notes is $350 a month, Uber will take care of that. Lyft will take care of that. Okay, you drive a few times a month, raise that $350, that frees up your regular paycheck, and you done paid your car note for the month. All right, I mean, there's so many ways of doing this. So many ways. Other than that, you got a low FICO score, no problem. Get you a nice secure credit card, okay? Raise that score up to about 720. It ain't hard to do. Now you got 720, you walk into a car dealer and say, give me the keys. They ain't asking you no questions on that. No questions. Give me the keys. Whatever, they say, whichever one you want, and your payments, your remember that 25% APR? No. Your APR could be 4% or below. And your car note is about $300. I've seen them. I was paying $225 a month on a car. Sure was. I sure was. 4%. Okay. You walk in there with that, they'll give it to you. Okay. So there's so many ways of doing this, and we need to teach ourselves and then teach our children how to get through this. And it's readily available to us. All you gotta do is Google. It's just a Google away. All right, ask a friend how this is done. That's Black Finances. I didn't want to go very long, but I did, and that's fine. At least I hope I educated you on this. And ask questions. Go to the Generational Wealth for African Americans site on Facebook, and because I'm gonna post this there. You best believe. It's called Generational Wealth for African Americans. Go ahead and type that in. And many of the videos are up there that I've done, and many videos that you've done and other financiers have done. And there it is, really available to you. Get busy. Get busy now. Don't wait till next week or next year. Don't wait till New Year's with New Year's resolutions. Now, do it now. And watch 1 year from now how you're going to be celebrating the little things that you do. Just take your little foxes that run around, that mess up the crop. Little foxes. So use that to your advantage, okay? All right. All right, Angie. She says a good 10 minutes of my time. Good. Couldn't agree more. Owned all my vehicles for the last 15 years. Just recently got a car note, and I don't like it. I know you don't like it, but at least you did the smart thing all those years. Some people need to get car loans. Some people just need to have it because their situation is just different. And some people do a lease. And they do a lease because of the depreciation fact, okay? They do a lease because they don't want to get caught into an upside-down situation. And after a few miles, you turn that lease in, they give you a brand new one. And some people have been doing that for years and years and years. That worked for your situation. Maybe for my situation, it don't work. I don't want to go through that. I want to just own my own car and be done with it, all right? That's up to you. Okay. All right. If you just joined in, be kind, hit the rewind button, hit the share button if you can. All of you who are on here right now, just go, boop, share, and share with your children. Let them see this. Share with your church. They're not going to like it, but I'm hoping. See, my church is doing the Dave Ramsey specials at my church in Evanston. We having classes with Dave Ramsey, okay, the financier who teaches us about credit and finance, okay. We are thinking outside the box, okay. Thank God for our sister Wilda. I don't know if she's here, all right? But it's important. Bible study is great. Singing and praying is all right. But we need money tonight. Singing and praying is all right. But we need money tonight, okay? All right? It's okay to read scriptures and exegete and things like that. But many of the people in scripture, I haven't really met. Maybe you have, but I ain't met a poor Jew yet. And we look at the Bible, and it's a Jewish. The Jews gave birth to Jesus Christ. Unto us a child is born. That's Jesus Christ, okay? Unto us a son is given. Wasn't talking to you, talking about these Jews, okay? And so it's hard to find poor Jews in here, okay? But yet we quote from their scriptures in the Old Testament, especially we quote from all these Jewish men. And I'm telling you, when I go to Florida on vacation and take the kids down there and what have you, I see them folks with the hats on, what they call it, the yarmulke or whatever. I ain't seen not one poor one yet. That's why they in Florida, because they ain't poor. All right. So I just don't understand. I just don't. We talking about some we grafted in things like that. You grafted in spiritually, but what happened to financially? I don't get it. Okay. So have a Bible study for finance, and then watch the offerings grow. If you want to pull back into the offerings, educate the people financially. Don't just give them a promise and leave them to themselves Monday through Saturday and think they're gonna be bringing in all this money every week. Not happening. Okay. All right. Just curious, Andrew, how did you end up with the car note? All right, Danny. Y'all go back and forth at it. I'm going to shut this down. Love you guys. I'm walking away. I'm hungry. Haven't had dinner yet. Love you guys. I appreciate you.